Final segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon, and man, we have had more fun than we should be allowed to have in the top secret podcast layer presented by Mr. Lester Steakhouse, the only 5-star restaurant between New Orleans and Houston. We've got a great crew here. It's been tons of fun with Renee Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist. Our two priests doing everything they can to keep us as Christian and Catholic as possible. I know it's been a stretch, fathers.
I'm losing my religion being here.
Well played. Well, ring the bell. Ring the bell. Yeah. It's not my fault that it's Father Glaude who's making you do it, right? Yeah. It's not my fault that he's next to you. I'm sorry.
Just blame me.
Yeah.
I think we need both of the priests to keep us straight.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, we're all going to sing "We Shall Overcome."
Yeah.
What did I ever do to you?
Okay, so this last story is one that I was like, man, we have to talk about this. And I love to always take an opportunity to get away from some of the things that are more serious, that could be a little more out there and could be a little more fun, yet could still have major implications. There are a lot of things that we have in our homes that are derived from serious use. What do I mean by that? The microwave that's in your home was developed by NASA. They were trying to figure out a way for astronauts to cook food so that when they were filming the moon landing somewhere in California, they would at least say, oh, look, see, we made the microwave, so it had to be real. I'm kidding. The reality is we get a lot of that technology, those advancements from things like that. What we don't realize is a lot of times that technology works in reverse. Things that are normal, someone who's maybe not so normal looks at and goes, oh, you know what I could do with this? Now, as the father of a daughter, I have developed a very specific hatred. And I can use the word hatred here because it's not directed at a person. It's directed at a thing, or millions, or billions, or trillions, or gazillions. Yes, they're all real numbers of things. And it's glitter. So for those of you who have not been down the great glitter rabbit hole. Yeah, thanks, Father Taj. It's a fascinating story if you see it. So first of all, I did not know that the manufacture of glitter was essentially super double secret probation top secret. Right? I mean, there's only a couple of companies that do it.
It's a military secret.
Okay, I don't know that glitter is a military secret. How they manufacture it.
Well, the real uses.
Okay, so the number one customer of the two glitter manufacturers in the U.S.
And the reason why we have two is in case one of them has a problem, we have a backup.
It's the U.S. military.
Yes.
Okay, so I just can't help but wonder, after all of Trump's executive orders, if all of a sudden we're going to see the military stop using as much glitter because they're not fabulous anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. Wait, it's fabulous.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for taking me out of the frying pan and throwing yourself into it. Yeah, I love it.
That's what I live for.
But seriously,
only I can't get any blacker.
But seriously, I mean, okay, so the U.S. military's buying that much glitter?
You know how many airplanes we have?
We got a lot of them.
A lot. And you know how many of those airplanes have anti-missile technologies on them?
It could even be anti-radar technology.
Well,
I mean, it could be as simple because you've got the stealth fighter, you've got the stealth bomber. Right. You've got the F-22, you've got the F-33. All of
35.
them 35. All of them are stealth aircraft.
Yes.
Conventional radar cannot track those aircraft.
It's hard. They can be tracked, but it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I don't disagree. My point being, you almost have to wonder, with glitter's reflective properties, if maybe there's glitter at play here?
Yeah. It is.
Okay, Father, you want to chime in?
And first of all, let me begin with, for the record, I hate glitter.
Oh, I hate glitter
with
as well.
a passion. So I agree with you on that. But just knowing that the military is the biggest buyer of glitter is completely mind blowing.
Agreed.
You would have never thought. You would have never thought. I don't think anybody would have ever thought that glitter would be used in so many things as there is. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if
it's not used in it could be used in LED screens. I mean, you never know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I didn't. Oh God, there's a bad joke here, and I want to say it. There's a bad joke here.
Go ahead.
There's a bad joke here.
Go
No,
You got
ahead.
two priests.
I'm
They can
getting
give you
egged on by two.
absolution.
Go ahead. You're implicit bias.
I didn't know that many strippers worked in the U.S. military. I'm sorry.
You never heard of tailhook? That's an old one.
I'm
But
sorry. I grew up in New Orleans. I spent a lot of time on Bourbon Street as a kid.
My condolences.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go to confession.
But I'm serious
but
here. I mean, so outside of that joke, seriously,
and it's also the one thing I really found mind blowing was the fact that the very man who invented glitter
this
was
is
the
the
very
big one.
same man
One of
who
them.
was involved was one of the men who was involved in the Manhattan Project.
So it almost makes you wonder if glitter is somehow utilized for its reflective properties
Yeah.
in nuclear warheads.
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it really wouldn't. Father Joe's got the mic. What's he going to say?
I am so baffled by this when you brought the topic up. I was like, glitter.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, that's Bourbon Street, New Orleans. That's
Okay,
that's
you just
cheerleaders and pom poms and
You just,
like, what are you talking
made,
about?
Father, you just made me feel so much
Oh,
better
but
that
my
as
God,
you
I said,
know this
what
and
is
not
this
just
with-
me.
I just could not, all that glitters is
See-
not gold. I remember
No.
being raised on that quote, but no, really, I think you brought up an interesting point. I understand. I think glitter is fundamentally aluminum and shining material
Yes.
made it out.
Reflective. When I
Reflective, and that makes me wonder. I really do believe. And when off the show, you were talking about guns and suppressors and how they operate. I thought this is
Okay, so
this is intriguing.
So
I gotta
Renee, talk about chaff that they use.
when I was a
for
kid,
anti-radar.
my dad was in the Air Force, and I grew up on Air Force bases. I remember as a kid, we actually put the icicles, the silver tinsel that
Yeah.
you put on your tree. We used chaff. My dad would get it from.
So for
I mean,
those
he
who don't
was-
know, what chaff is, if a missile is chasing and tracking a jet,
Or
they
actually
will
on-
release what's called chaff to or just
on radar.
yeah.
Fighter aircraft and bomber aircraft, they have these tubes with, it looks like the icicles on your Christmas tree. And whenever they get a lock on, radar's locking on them, they will shoot chaff out, and it just blots out the radar because the reflective properties
Yeah.
of the aluminum just wipes the radar out.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be glitter. It could be any
It's
kind
just
of
reflective.
metal.
So
Yes.
so all we're saying is this: if you've got a ton of glitter at your house, you never know when the U.S. military is going to show up and tell you, "We need your glitter."
Glaude does.
What's that?
Father Glaude has lots of glitter.
Oh,
at his
I don't
house.
want to know
Just
anything
saying,
more
just
about
saying.
that. If you want to know more,
Liar.
find us on our socials, X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcast. Trust me, you don't want to miss any of your favorite Saturday, once a week radio show / podcast. It's Implicit Bias Radio. We'll see you in 7.